Hello and good morning, or good afternoon, I guess, really. It is July 23rd and seems to be, I don't have COVID, but like I feel like I'm just tired and I can't quite seem to get the energy going. So, ooh. But yeah, I just want to touch base. Um, Technically, I think we're in week 14. I kind of have stopped counting, but just to give you an idea. It was about 14 weeks ago I decided that I was gonna try to change my voice a little bit. And I definitely can change, I on command when I need to, like I'm doing right now. And I really do try to maintain my voice all the time. But I guess what I want to talk about is something that I've had some trouble with, and that is just there are times um, I slip. And I asked my sensei, who told me that she had some trouble too. That it just takes some time basically to make a new habit. And, trouble may, like I've encountered, she said she encountered trouble, habitual things that she just didn't really think about. And that's kind of what I have. I can be at work and I'm da da da, and this is really kind of weird, but like I work, let's say there's, I'm surrounded like a letter C, I'm in the middle. So I've got one person in front of me, one person behind me, three to my left, one, two, three, and then people way over there. And so it's weird, it's like the guy next to me I can't hear. He doesn't talk very loud. And he kind of talks a lot, like during the day he'll just say something, and I kind of just nod and give him, I hear, yes, I hear, even if I don't hear him. Um, and in that moment, I'm more likely to drop because it's still like I'm busy doing something, and I just am like, you know,
Yeah, you're right.
and then, I'm like, fuck, what did I just do? And then I'm like, and there have been times when it's like people come this way or behind me and they pull up to me and say, hey, what do you think about, or did you do this, or can a question about a check or a claim or something, and I spit it out. I don't think about what I'm doing, drop into my old voice, and then someone else will come up while they're standing there, and I just answered this question to them in my lower older voice, and then I've got someone next to them that's asking me the next question. So the first person leaves, the next person's there, and I just continue in my old voice because that's what they heard. Um, and it can be frustrating. It's very frustrating. And then I get mad at myself. You know. Um, the other thing that I do, which is kind of funny, is it's like a game of repeat. If I do drop down, excuse me, it's kind of become a game. I immediately have to repeat what I just said in my voice because I want to make sure, like it's like I'm ingraining it in my brain, don't use that other voice. Um, but it's like I want to make sure, or like if I'm talking and my voice cracks, I try to crack. I try to, it's like putting a band-aid on it, like, okay, I need to repeat that and address it. And so sometimes, like I said, I'll be walking down the hallway and I'll get kind of ambushed or asked a question, and it's like, as soon as the opportunity presents itself, I repeat everything I just said as if I'm in transit. And, it's just one of those things. I think in the end, we're doing this for us. We're not doing this for other people. And it's okay to forget, it's okay to drop down. I had one day this week, I didn't get a position I had applied for. And I had about, my first reaction back to it was very aggressive. And I slipped down into my old voice and I cursed for about 30 seconds and mumbled. And then I was like, so anyway, that is a bad thing that happened to me, yes. And I owned up to, that is terrible, but I will learn from it and I will move on and I have an opportunity to do something else. And so be thankful for that opportunity. But again, I hope if you're doing it or you've done it, then you can say, yes, I did this for myself. I am not doing this to appease someone else. I'm not doing it to make someone else happy. I'm not doing it, although I think it does kind of validate. And I started with my old therapist. She got an opportunity to go study somewhere, and so she's gone. And I met with my new therapist, and I had this long conversation with her, and she's like, so, tell me about some recent things with you. And I said, well, I guess the biggest thing is I've kind of been working on my voice. And she's like, well, what do you mean? And I'm like, because I don't like the way my voice. I mean, it was like, and it's just one of those things that we talked about having all the crayons in your crayon box, and I'm much more animated and much more alive because I'm able to express myself and da 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 da. And I really couldn't do that before because I was knocking my emotions and my feelings down. So I think that's kind of been another, as much as people do judge us, definitely by the way we look and definitely by the way we sound. Just people use these, I want to say nonverbal clues, but that's not it. It is a verbal clue, and we still kind of live in that world where, you know, um, when I answer the phone now, I never get dead named, I never get dead gendered, I never get blah 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 blah. Okay, when I did before, all the time. And so that in its of itself, that I guess what I want to say is I'm doing it for me, but there's also these extensions of that and how I interact with other people. And I did take, something that I was very concerned about. Part of my job is interacting with people over the phone. And I've been very hesitant because I didn't want to mess up. And I kind of got over that fear. And this week started phone calls. And, I don't know, I feel like things are kind of coming to a completion or you know, that's not to say things are perfect. But I do feel like it's, you know, and I'm not doing it, like I said, I'm doing it for me, and Lord knows there's things I can improve on. I've reached a happy medium, a happy, I'm sure, things like vocal pressure and everything else, that's very hard still for me to do. And just enunciating. I tend to rush. I tend to go very quickly, and I need, if I slowed down and I enunciated all of my words, when you slow down, you have the ability, in addition to enunciation, you have the ability to do intonation, right? And that sing-songy, um, you know, how saying a sentence and ending on an up note, or you, you, yeah, I could spend time on that if I wanted to, So there's still stuff that I can improve upon. And the other thing, I guess, is kind of going back to the beginning is, it's it takes a lot of brain work, you know, and excuse me, to give ourselves the time that we need to process. That's oof. So anyway, just sharing a little more and um, not a look at me. This isn't an exercise in self-aggrandizement or whatnot. I'm just kind of being honest that it's still a work in progress. It's not whatever. So on that note, I will shut up. I'm trying to just recoup. It's been just a weird couple weeks. Um, there's been the much bigger picture. Um, we're headed into an election, and I volunteered to help out with my Indiana congressperson to help get them elected, get the Republican, the congressperson who told me that transgender people don't exist, and you know, get rid of the dinosaurs. Get rid of the dinosaurs. You're not going to convince them. You're not going to get them to change their mind. They're on their way out. It's just a matter of time. Um, so, anyway, on that note, I will wish you the best of luck in becoming your authentic self, and we'll see you later. Bye bye.